Introduction. Before reading about any subject, we should know properly about its aims and objectives. For example, a man selects his career before studying medical science or law. Likely, before going through a religious book, we should have a clear idea about our intention. Not depending on the fame or obscurity of an author, but we should read a book with the love for truth. It is important what the author has written. Meaning of each word and sentence of this book is clear. While reading a book, we should try to understand the substance of a book. While reading something, one should try to understand the meaning of each sentence and be patient. He should think over what each sentence means. Gist of a reading material can be understood through education, imagination, grammar, realizing the unwritten opinions, following the rhythm and punctuations of the written material, and keeping in view the overall place, time and the system. Purpose of writing this book is to express clearly what its writer thinks and likes. Transparency of the writer's thought is not evident when his way of expression is not clear. An easily readable and understandable book always gets popularity. Nobody can realize a book of deep knowledge, unless he himself sees or undergoes such practice. Books give advices only but don't compel anybody to do anything. It is useless to read a religious book till its advices are not followed. Religious books are not attractive at sight, or its sayings are also not attractive to pronounce, but when somebody wants to understand its gist and try to follow it, he will get an unlimited treasure in it. It is a complete precept. Its aim is to accept an ideology and to make it easy accessible to mankind for implementing in their daily life. He who follows it wholly, really loves himself. If you want everlasting benefit by this book, you should read it and try to follow it regularly. After reading, you should research on the subject matter. You should read the book wholly at least once in every month. After reading, you are to educate yourself on the subject, and you should try your best to implement its ideologies in your practical life and should educate others on the subject. Everybody should convey the messages to others. Often you should read the book and practice its advices in your practical life. You should write down the dates, names, occurrences and effects cited in your personal diary. In this world there is a common book. A child reads it like a book of rhymes, a young man reads it like an epic, and an old man reads it like a religious book itself. The citizens of the world are facing dangers now. Nuclear weapons, financial disaster side by side with the increase of population and a natural disaster. Society is like a body. Any part of it found in problem, the whole becomes inactive. The impact infected the other parts if any part is in danger. Present we are facing extremely downfall. Capitalistic system has introduced an attitude of competition for personal progress in the people's mind. This tendency of competition prevails among the family members, neighbors, workers of all organizations, businessmen, intellectuals, officers, employees, politicians, and among all other groups of people. That creates a sense of selfishness, individualism and separation among all the members of a society. As a result, a pure pleasure is not found in our life. Mankind is gradually going away from the normal way of life. Frustration is being developed among them, rate of addiction and crime tendency are increasing day by day. They can't find out the meaning of life. They think that they are unwanted by their families and societies, and there is no significance in their lives. From these despondency arises moral degradation, deviation, and exile of every kind of human values and every kind of social, inhuman negative activities. Life should be made meaningful, because as a matter of fact, life has no meaning itself. Science, philosophy, arts and culture and manything else are vain endeavor to make our meaningless lives into a meaningful one. All the performance, reputation, education, literatures, arts, all are the various results of the efforts for compromising the conflicts among different classes of people. History of mankind proceeded through social studies, political science and religious studies, is the history of adjustments. Life is full of artificial, mechanic and controlled. Due to mechanical and materialistic civilization, nowadays mankind have become disgusted to the social system, and they are no more getting any charm among all these affairs. In the materialistic civilization, gradually increasing poverty in resources, frustration in luxury, and uncertainty in abundance. Sensuality tendency has created a kind of restlessness in the society. Every innocent soul is grown for a complete and calm state in mind every moment. Mankind has become restless due to poverty and ignorance. Established individual characteristics, good relation in body and mind, could avoid this pain. Mankind could not get peace even they are the owner of power, of property, even of knowledge, due to absence of perfect philosophy for life, confusion of lives reality and ability, careless to values, tempered materialistic mentality. All we are peculiar characteristics, everyone want to express as clean characteristics. Tendency arise to blame the mankind and also to the God from sorrow for committed crime. Philosophy and ontology may take high places, till there will be the faith in God, until death remain in earth, until helplessness remain in human hearts, until utmost helplessness rise cry from core of human mind. We do not faith in religion till we suffer or resist. When serious disorder rise in life, when there is no affection in own life, when serious dislike comes on artificial, when disgust grows upon deception, only then begins the religion. Truth revealed, after a disappoint from everyday cipher, worldly concerns disappear. Does anybody can sit without scurry while God thirst? People do not get thirst, so they sit and sink in world. When heart fills with stroke of sorrow and hardness in world, living being think baseless due to death of own people, life is agitated due to coming impassable hard gloomy future life, then the living being is forwarded for the religion. We can say great joke, but when stroke comes in life, then we can see how weak we are. Time will must come, when our games will be break, then we will go to religion. Atheism religion is not in any idealist religion. The greatest religion of the world is faith in humanity. Different rules and regulation of religion should be explained farther due to modern situation. Who am I? Where I came from? Where will I go? How created the universe? What is its goal? What is the relation to world with me? What is my status, responsibility, duty and object for world planning? How is such contrariety in the same religion? Why those questions came to mind which have no answer. Creation of world and its need, origin and intention of human life and overall what is the purpose etc. all are the fundamental question for all the time. Making difference in soul and body to keeping conflict of class, those days are going to be ended. Those who consciously or unconsciously inimical present life, go away from them. The world is place for cheating. Should be kept away from all fraudulent. Seems those who should be demonstrator are such frauds. This situation is not only in this country, it is all over world. Because of ignorance and lack of learning we are driven towards the path of falsehood. One who cannot control himself is driven by other. It is to be remembered that it is the derogatory, slavish mentality of one's own self, the lifeless existence and lives of the insects that inspires the savage reactions, all-destroying power of other. In a critical situation, to surrender before that situation, instead of winning that is equivalent should become the idol of unchanged rule. The fate of weak lost itself on the way itself. That means, it is the outcome of the inactive, unproductive, introvert thought. Because of the looting system, the government goes bankrupt, industrialization and agriculture halts and all other sectors stand still. So where the youth, students, mass people would go, what will they do? Future is uncertain, all the avenues to develop career is closed. But, in the declaration of growth rate by the politics of development and the International Economic Organization celebrate through air and sky. This trend of development is far away from the cottages of poor families and confined within the limit of skyscraper building of city life. Despite all these we should struggle forward for the foods, cloths and earnings. Rising of proper humanity are not possible only by the formal education or traditional worship. Activities of mankind and religion have changed in different manner with the era. Fundamental functions of religion are the same in all the religion, not a single point changed. Religion should be made a unity with philosophy, science, especially reality. You have heard only the explanation of world from different views. Now it needs to change the world. You should be time predator. Religious old boat is not strong enough for present. We should make dynamic new boat. Require new commentator due to coordination with ever-changing world. We are to invent and discover the aims and objectives which make our unsuccessful life into a successful one, by meditation and experience. We should always remain alert for all the time, including during meditation, thinking, working, sacrificing and enjoying. We should express the truth, beauty and divine qualities within ourselves through our creations. It is needed to learn how to love oneself. One has to love oneself in a healthy, bold and complete way. By exploiting your love, light of knowledge, and full ability you have to make the world meaningful. Lifeland is enough fertile, but before that fertility gets barren we have to sow the seeds of great expectation in time. Improvement means to overcome oneself, to do better than the present state of oneself. You have to stand upwards on your own heart energy, power, courage, and eligibility. To reach the target, the students, youth and the professional power have to be organized to build up new social system in conducting production, distribution and exchange. The joint labor will be invested in the development of human happiness and humanity in the form of necessary labor, suitable labor and favorable labor. The youth and young generation are to be encouraged to be sacrificing in the struggle for the redemption and advancement of the society. No more terrorism, addiction, corruption or anarchy, only self-development through developing the society through meaningful freedom. That's why you need to be struggling creator. Today you are alone, but one day you will be united. Out of them great men will be created. It is the power of will that give relief to human being. The end of wish is the end of evaluation and creation. Be conscious so that fantasy does not cheat the imagination or wish. You are yet to discover yourselves. Do it hurriedly. Those who have nothing to give, become ashamed to receive. Discard the habit of receiving. Don't wish anything impossible to yourself. Don't proceed to be great beyond your own capability. If you have passion for greatness, exploit your own worth. So raising capacity and improving mechanisms for accountability are important. The world is to be developed in your own way, the intellect is to be perceived, this creation will be only for pleasure. Function of creation is to devise the way of getting relief of the woe and misery. Sickness, mourning and mental shocks will go away with our lively touches and we shall give everybody of the world the taste of delight. We have come to the world to create something with our hopes, zeal, sacrificing tendency and courage. We create something with our physical, mental and lively efforts and with our intelligence, because we get pleasure in this way. We should establish our working centers everywhere. Apart from development planning, they will build united resistance against various offenses. Community manager would be taken from different professionals, through a broad-based understanding. If we fail to control our tendencies towards crime and other alike affairs, we shall fall victim to death. We should unite the zealous workers and to grow amity and integrity among them. Conflict of socio-economic and political ideologies will get no chance to flourish there. Our motto should be to establish humanity instead of establishing a particular political or social system. A real honest, bold and consensus man has no company. He has to struggle for ideology and truth in a secluded, adverse environmental condition. You have to start the journey to the ever-alone path, have to transform the softest to the hardest one. The language of beauty is mild, but to awake the sluggish sleeping, thunder-like expression is needed. Prepare yourself for great enemy, that's why you have to overlook insignificant things. No more betray to own independence, your true intelligence is your tools. Sharpen your own tools, wake up, fight against the enemy. Get ready, either life or death. In this situation, we need conscious madcap persons who are brave and who do not care for their personal damage. Learn to avoid the earth. This need proper ideology and leadership. We have to be co-warrior of society, not the service renders. Shake off despondency, shame, failure, foolishness to be a perfect predator. This is aimed at inviting people to wake up whose consciences are sleeping but not dead. This ideology is for courageous people who want to change the direction of wind, fight with the current of the seas, and to divert its direction. They keep real courage and boldness. For those who dare to divert the direction of a society. This ideology is not meant for any coward. This ideology is not for those who are slaves of their habits, or like the straws which keep on flying always in favor of the wind, and like the insects which always move in favor of the current of water, not for those who change their decision at every moment, and those who are habituated to conduct themselves always in favor of the prevailing social customs. These guidelines are for those who are ready to keep faith in Allah, trust an ideology always upright, to conduct themselves to the straight and right path with confidence. The social system about which we think over is that where righteousness is the motto and where Allah has forbidden injustice between two persons. The society where we are entering is that where we must fight against the enemies of mankind, because counterattack is the best way of defense. We shall carry out our duties after verifying the evidences for and against the offenders and the innocents, determining the facts, and without being prejudiced by the destructive elements of the society. First of all, we shall work to weaken the people having negative attitudes along with their followers. To attain this goal, we are required to identify the people having negative attitudes, to locate their positions, and to end up the supports behind them in a planned way. Good war ennobles every ideology. Know your enemy is one of the most accepted maxims regarding war. Win the war of doctrines to support democratic values and to promote economic freedom needs win an idealistic war. Peoples are integrated into a world consistent with the interests and values we share with our partners, values such as human dignity, rule of law, respect for individual liberties, open and free economies, and religious tolerance. With the disappearance of the downfalling social values or community's degenerate system, problems like anarchy, poverty, discontent, insecurity, injustice and inequality will disappear too, and the world will become a place of peace and plenty. The streets will be safe again, the legal system will deliver justice, and everybody will benefit according to their need from education and health services. All artistic works will be recognized. Standard of living of mass people will rise. A great progress will come in the field of science and technology. People will get closer with each other with love and regards, and the rate of crime will go down dramatically. The interests of the community for the standard of living will rise, or everyone have an equal share in the rewards of wealth, science and technology. Wealth becoming accessible to the population at large, or that there should be improvement in the distribution of wealth. Country should begin to achieve social stability and security. We must not forget that to implement this plan, we should have earnest desire as well as to keep on working accordingly. If the believers in Allah try sincerely and firmly to spread religious ethics, then Allah will also help them. Allah says that if the honest and sincere people do not work unitedly and make chaos in each group, then the world will become such a place where life will become intolerable and everybody will suffer. As such, we should pass this message to people massively and to warn them about the heinous plans of the wicked people. If anybody is found to be involved in any crime, he must be brought to the court of law and to be punished according to proper legal process. Moral consciousness of the people should be raised by bringing proper reforms in education and through spread of moral education with the aid of media. No comment can be made on any nation or people without evaluating its mental attitudes, social and economic conditions and environment. A particular doctrine may be useful for a particular territory or nation, again it may not be useful for another. It is better to bring people under a particular process after creating a tendency in their minds to abide by the laws of the land and making a revolutionary change in their mentalities. Otherwise the objectives may not be successful. If the supreme power of the social activities, opinion, any address to some elementary changes designed through consultation and discussion, that might not be successful. Rather to prove through credible proof and precept that you are able to materialize your hopes and aspirations, it is only then you will be successful. Success is a must by proper social conscious and right step. The confidence and the inspiration of the phenomenon make a person successful, and as per the feature of the letter period, he has to establish dominance over the condition through hardship and justice. He makes others confident that it is possible to fulfill their emotional desire, and only he can care that through strong determination. For this it is needed to create a disciplinary attitude of the equation to socio-economic problems. Every problem has its certain local characteristics, which make it different from problems in other areas. And solution to a problem also lies in that locality. Only local unity as social capital can develop human capital, which is an alternative to financial capital. However, the quality of leadership remains as a precondition for getting better deliveries. To eradicate the root of the problem, the solution should be cultivated. Arrangement should be made for cultivation, making land, sowing seed, fertilizer, insecticide, irrigation, clearing weeds, opinion of specialists, medicine, sufficient natural elements, harvesting the crops and threshing that. After processing comes storing, marketing. Instead of being dependent to others in resolving problem, it is necessary to take integrated steps with self-enterprise through thought and search. The main target would be determining financial condition and searching the way of change. It is essential to collect data through investigation, survey for development of the present economic condition. The local people are to be organized for their economical redemption, and the necessary elements are to be collected by individual entrepreneur. Taking opinion with the local leaders, youths discussion should be held house to house in villages. This makes easy the opinion, advice, work procedures, to be evaluated more convenient. All are old, but you should know it is new. We have done our duty completely. Could we create a new path only with faith, patience and self-confidence, when all the ways came to shut? We are not daydreamer. We do demand by ourselves as a well-done hopeful man. Please, help to build a survival generation. Writer.